Welcome everybody to another video. I am Kelvin, representing Recreation Gaming TV, or RGTV for short. It's been a good while since I've done one of these commentary videos over gameplay footage. I kind of miss doing these. I would try to do more of these if I find something interesting to talk about, but I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. I don't want to try to delay anything, and this video, as you guys can see in the title, this is pretty much me explaining how I feel about Call of Duty Modern Warfare in terms of its multiplayer. Just like my opinion, my thoughts, things like that. And I kind of want to rewind to all the way back to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. When Black Ops 4 was announced, I was somewhat excited, but like not excited at the same time, because while I liked Black Ops 3, I wasn't a fan of the whole wall running and the thrusting and the jetpacks and all that stuff. But Black Ops 4, they confirmed was going to be boots to the ground. And the first Black Ops game is actually one of my favorite Call of Duty multiplayers of all time. Call of Duty 4 being my favorite one. But so I liked Black Ops 4. It was multiplayer only. There was no campaign, none of that. So it just had the multiplayer, the battle royale, and the zombies. So I enjoyed that game. And I was curious to see what the new Call of Duty game was going to be. And that ended up being Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I was surprised by that, because I didn't know if the next Call of Duty was going to be futuristic, or if it was going to be back to the past, or if it was going to be a modern warfare type game. I was pretty happy with it being back to a modern warfare type game, because I was tired of the, kind of like the futuristic, and I like games that take place in the past too, like in World War One, World War Two. But I didn't like World War Two personally, though. I thought that game was terrible. But they announced this game, so they released a 2v2 alpha beta. This was the first time where we were gonna get our hands on the game to see how it played, and I have to say that I enjoyed it a lot. I love the mechanics of the game, like how the movement felt, the aiming, and how the game looked. The game looks so beautiful, especially if you play in 4K. And I think one of the things that impressed me the most was the sound in the 2v2 mode, like how loud the guns were and the footsteps, and like you could hear like the leaves and the water running depending on the maps you played on, of course. I was very excited. I was like, damn, this is really good. Like, this Call of Duty feels completely different than any other Call of Duty game that I have played before. So the 2v2 beta is over, and then they announced the open beta. I was like, all right, so this is where we could play like team deathmatch and things of that nature. And when I played the open beta, I very much enjoyed what I played with. The only thing that bothered me about the game was I didn't like the way the maps were designed. I thought the map designs were terrible. I did not. They just, like, the maps in previous Call of Duty games are much better than the maps in this game at its current state right now. So I played the open beta, loved it, enjoyed it. Fast forward to the game's official release, and I started playing it. I started enjoying it. My problem, I just don't like the maps. But then things start to get exploited in the game. So when you play on all these maps, because of how they're designed, it encourages camping. Now, with every Call of Duty game, I'm pretty sure to everyone who's played Call of Duty for a long time, we all know that it's going to be a given that you're going to come across campers in Call of Duty. There's just nothing you can do about it. It's just, there's going to be those people that camp. But, the majority of the time, you're going to go against people that they move around. They may not move around all the time, but they'll move around from building to building or from spot to spot, whatever. It doesn't matter. But in this game, listen, I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, and I've never seen camping done to this extent in a COD game before. And I am amazed, frustrated, and aggravated by this whole concept of how people really camp the entire match, and it drives me crazy. And another thing too is the shotguns need to get nerfed in this game, because they are way too fucking powerful in this game. Excuse my language, but it is the god honest truth. They're just so powerful. And here's the thing, I have no issue with a shotgun killing you from point blank range. That's a given. But I've played so many matches where I've died from so far away that I should not have died, because the range that they kill me from is just ridiculous. They hip fire and they aim at the same time, and it's just like, this is unacceptable. Like the shotgun just needs to get nerfed now. You guys may feel differently about it, and you could also make the argument, if you can't beat them, join them too, which I understand. I just don't like using shotguns because, personally, for me, shotguns don't really take any skill to use when it comes to shooting games. Depending on the shooting game, like Gears of War is one of those games where it takes skill to use a shotgun. And if you guys play Gears of War, you would know what I'm talking about. You would understand why why it takes skill in that game to get kills with a shotgun and all that stuff. But this game, it's just crazy, like how far away I die from. So those are really my cons about this game. Is really the shotgun and the maps designs. They're just so awful. Actually, another thing too that I have an issue with this game is the cross play feature. It's not the greatest. I've read that there's problems on both ends with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One users. Like last time I cross played with my friends on Xbox, because I play on PlayStation 4. Like literally after every match was over, like we would get disconnected. They gotta fix that. But yeah, there's bugs in this game. I've seen some of the bugs. I read about it. Like I know like Dead Silence got fixed because people could, before they had the patch update, like you could use Dead Silence and people would still hear you, which I didn't know about until I read the patch update, because I was always using Dead Silence when I unlocked it as a field upgrade. But Modern Warfare has a lot going for it, but the people are just like being so toxic and somewhat ruining the game, even though it's not their fault, because the developers, they choose what to put in the game and how the game's played and all that stuff. But the maps are just awful, the shotguns are just ridiculous, and the camping is just ridiculous in this game. Like I'm trying to understand how people can stay in one spot for like the majority of the match and just enjoy doing that. Like that, to me, that's so boring, and it just takes the fun out of the game when you're moving around, you're trying to find players, and they're just sitting there just waiting for you to come by. And it's like, and you have to move in order to win the matches because you have to go get your kills and stuff like that. But overall, I gotta say that I do enjoy Modern Warfare. This game does have the potential to be one of the best Call of Duty games, but we'll see with how this game turns out to be with all the future updates coming out. But I like the gunsmith, I like the mechanics of the game, I like the movement, aiming, the recoil. I do like things like that. I like that, your players, they do call outs for you. So if you don't have a mic, even though everyone should have a mic, you can at least be aware of where the enemies are and stuff like that. But it's but that can get a little ridiculous too. Like they'll tell you exactly where you are, and you're not even looking at that spot or whatever. So this game, it has a lot going for it, but it has a lot going against it too. But overall, this is a good Call of Duty game, but I would advise you change your playstyle with this game. You cannot run and gun in this game unless you are playing against players that don't know what they're doing. So adjust your playstyle, play more cautious, be a little bit more tactical. I'm not going to encourage camping, but you might have to do that depending on who you're playing against and your teammates and all that stuff. A lot of these things factor into this stuff. But overall, this is a great Call of Duty game. That is my thoughts on the game. You guys can comment down below. Let me know how you feel about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Do you hate it, dislike it, whatever? Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you guys have a great day.